Okay. Okay. Okay, so uh I just found again. I found another manga called Infection. I saw the first chapter I think 2 weeks ago, and the newest chapter just came out like yesterday. And here's my first impressions. Yo, this shit is weird. So this shit is literally. It's the most disgusting thing I've seen in a long time. So, it revolves around the premise of a pseudo-zombie apocalypse. And what's basically happening is people get infected instead of turning into zombies. So, what they're infected with is, I don't know how to describe it other than it's basically Attack of the Aburame clan, the manga. Like, Shino from goddamn Naruto, how that nigga has insects inside of him, and basically they're everywhere inside of him? That's what it looks like right now. Except replace insects with worms. It's the most disgusting thing. When you first see one of the people who are infected, it's so nasty. It's like there's worms literally replacing their eyes. The worms, there's no eyeball, there's just worms. Which is strange because there's still like a pupil dot, but there's worms. Are there eyes? But how is the pupil there? I don't understand it, but it's weird. And they're just like vomiting up worms by the bucketful. It's so nasty. It's creepy and it really crawls on your skin. I would talk about the main characters, but honestly, I don't give a fuck about them. The main male character, he's a generic good guy. He doesn't really have problems, but he's not. There's just nothing to talk about him. He's just average Joe to the extreme. And the main female character is a thought. She's just a literal thought. She in the second chapter, she refuses to wear gym clothes because they're unfashionable. She says that she would rather die than wear gym clothes. And then proceeds to say, I want to degrade myself, and starts pulling down her panties. She's a literal thought by definition. Yo, it's so stupid. Well, anyway, back to the main point. These infected are sort of zombies. So it looks like they're alive because in the main characters and a group of other students pile themselves up in a gym, and there are dead bodies everywhere. And I imagine the dead bodies are people who were either going to turn or who have already turned that were killed. So if you're killed and you were infected, you're not going to just spring up and start eating people. So that means that everyone who's affected is still alive. So hopefully that also means you can kill them fairly easily. All you have to do is shoot them and they'll bleed to death. Or at least cause a significant enough wound that they will bleed to death. 2, the infection is fairly rapid. It happens in a day or half a day at the quickest. So you'll have a little bit of time, but you won't have enough time to really do anything. Now here's my question. Oh, I noticed one thing before my question. I noticed that they were vomiting up the worms on the main character. I saw them on the female character. She was pushing back this one dude and the worms were on her. I feel as if the only way to actually become infected is to be bitten, because they get clawed at, they get scratched at, but if you're not bitten, you're not infected yet. So that's a good sign. But my question is this. 1, how the fuck did this spread? Because there's no way someone just honestly saw niggas with worms and did not think, what the fuck? Because it has to start with one person. But how the fuck did it start to all of these niggas? Because at the end of chapter 2, this dude said at least 200,000 people have died. And this is only in Japan. And Japan does not have that much of a population. So, that's like a lot of niggas just dying like bitches. So, honestly, I'm a little worried. Two, do these guys have serious motor function skills? Like, will we see an infected driving a car? I would love to see that. That would be awesome. That's really all I have to say about this. There's not much to go off of. I don't know if it's a monthly series or not because I only discovered the last chapter 2 weeks ago, and then this chapter came up. It might be a monthly, but when I discovered the first chapter, it was in the newly posted manga section, so it might be like bi-weekly instead of monthly. Who knows? We'll have to see. I'm not going to review it, but if you guys like horror, it's something interesting. I love how someone took the color page for, like, to explain the series. They took it and edited it and said, Humanity versus the Rape Worms, the extreme hentai. Next time on Rape Worm Apocalypse of the Dead. That is disgusting, but extremely accurate to what is happening. Anyway, I will see y'all for some other shit. I'm not reviewing this shit. This shit is weird. But if y'all want to try it, go ahead. I will see y'all for next. Like, rate, subscribe!